The episodes in this playlist are presented to you in the form of an audiobook.
Most trainers tell you to build rapport or mirror the person. But after hundreds of calls, I've discovered that this approach actually destroys your interactions. The real problem? Treating every person the same when there are exactly 4 different communication styles. Overlooking this can cost even the most talented closers a lot of money, like using a driver approach on an expressive type or rushing an analytical person through their process. So in this episode, I'm going to share a private training where I break down the 4 communication styles framework and exactly how to use it to close deals that the average closers simply can't. Let's get into it. So basically, these are the 4 buckets in which how people communicate. We have the drivers here, then we have the expressives, then we have the analyticals, and then we have the amiables. I couldn't find the graph that I learned this from, because in the graph that I learned it from, they talk first about the drivers, then expressive, then analytical, and then amiables. The thing about this one is that it gives you sort of like more insights as opposed to driver, expressive, analytical, and amiable. Okay, so drivers, these are the people that try to control the call. They're just trying to, they are leaders. They are like dominant personalities, not in a bad way, right? So they're action oriented, like they just want to go, so to say. And that's why weakness, listening. Like, you know what I mean? Like they are going to be the ones that are going to try to skip parts of the process and whatnot. So for them, it's a little bit uncomfortable to go through the process of a discovery, right? They're just willing to do it because they want to get results. So we still need to get them through that process. But if we know they're drivers, we'll be more concise. We'll make sure everything is more pointed. We really have to have good listening skills, because if you make a driver explain something again, when he feels he has already explained that, he's going to get pissed off, etc. Okay? The good thing about drivers is that they have no problem taking action. If you just learn how to communicate with them, you'll be good. We still need to go through the discovery, though. Like, we still need to do it. Then we have the expressives. Expressives are those that, are very talkative. They have no problem telling you everything. Sometimes they share too much. They're very social. And for some people, actually, these ones are more difficult because they have to keep the conversation on point. Weakness that he says here is impulsiveness. So if you're able to pull out the right emotion, they will make a decision. So that's good. Then we have the analyticals. And the analyticals are those that they always have to think about it. You know what I mean? So they have all those nitty-gritty detailed questions. They will ask you 1,001 questions. They will ask you questions that you've never considered before. Those are the analyticals. It prefers to think. They always prefer to think, right? So those are definitely a challenge. These ones are the ones that have the rules. I have a rule that I always just pray 3 times and just do this thing until I make a decision, right? So those are the analyticals. And then we have the amiables, okay? The amiables are those that they value the relationship. They love to be part of something. They also have some insecurities. Like this one tends to be the more insecure ones. And the problem with the amiables is that they hate conflict. They hate conflict. So the amiables will lie to you in your face just so that they can avoid saying no. So if an amiable has to say no, this is not what I want to do, or any other possible route, they will take the other possible route, because under any circumstances, they will want to face conflict. So the amiables are the ones that are going to say to you, yes, I'm 100% in. Oh, yeah, definitely. I want to do this. It's just that. Oh, yeah. Send me the invoice. I'll pay that. Because they hate conflict, right? So if I ask you which one, let's say, driver, expressive, analytical, amiable, which one do you feel is the most difficult one to deal with? And this is just a funny exercise. No worries at all. There's nothing going on here.
Just put it in somebody the chat. Specific? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just to put it in the chat. Like, which one do you feel for you is the more difficult one to deal with? Just put it in the chat. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. At the beginning, I was like, man, like for me, drivers, the drivers, like, they just try to break my frame. But once you master the drivers, it's okay. Amiables are the most dangerous because the amiables are going to tell you everything you want to hear. They will give you everything. They will tell you everything, and they will lie into your face just so that they don't face the conflict. Go ahead, Thijs. Go ahead.
Yeah, I actually really wanted to ask that question this coaching call, because last six of my guys that I wasn't closing were all amiables, and they all said to me like, "Yeah, yeah, I will definitely do it, and definitely this, and definitely that." And they really felt like honest, but they were all exactly that, and then ghosting me after the call, and really being very sweet, and I fall for it every single time. Like I can't recognize the patterns good enough. Like I trust them too much sometimes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what to do about it? I don't know sometimes how to really
Like, what is their weakness? What is their weakness? Taking action.
taking action.
They have to take action there. They have to. Even if it's a small down payment. But
Yeah, but
they have to take action. Even if it's the fake cards on file for European people, something ties. Like they have to do something, put something on the line. Otherwise, it's just not going to happen.
yeah, and them
And
leaving the
it's
call
not
is
easy. What was that?
them leaving the call is also a problem during the payment. Like
Yeah, but
if
that's okay. Like if
yeah,
if you put them in a position where they like, are you sure? Yeah, let's do it. Okay, cool. And they say, okay, let me go for my card. And then they just leave the call, they hang up. That's okay. Like you did everything in your power. Like that's a
yeah,
good thing. Like you didn't buy into their limitations. They gave up on them first.
yeah,
That's good. That's okay. I want you guys to have this meaning of a hang up as a good thing. Like if someone hangs up on you because they're supposed to pay and then they just like boom disappeared. I want you to label that as good, great. I pushed this person all the way outside of the comfort zone and they just decide to give up. They could have asked, they could have a conversation. They just decided to. The pressure was too high. They had to hang up. And you don't have to
and
be a dick to force a hang up. I've shown you examples. We've role played how to go about this and how to, put the pressure up and up and up and up without being like a jerk. So that's a good thing.
and another question: do you also have a different like follow-up approach for example, for an amiable person? Because sometimes like I feel they just keep telling you, yeah, yeah, I want to do it though. Yeah, next month, or yes, I have to save up a little bit more, and they're so
Yeah.
lost eventually. If you're doing them in a follow-up, they will
Yeah.
tell you like they will get there, but I've had
Yeah.
follow-up sequences of 6 7 months with these guys, and hey bro,
Look,
how's it going? How did the book
look
go
the
that I
weakness.
recommend? And
Yeah.
yeah,
This is the weakness. It's taking action. They will, they want to avoid conflict and it's hard for them to take action. So what you have to do in the follow-ups, remember, is always the next step is always another call. Even if they don't go, even if they gosh you and they're responsive, don't open a chat in the DMs. Just get them on a call.
Mm.
And the best way to get these people on a call, you just tell them, hey, there's no need to make any decision. It's not a call to take action. It's just to have full clarity on what are the best next steps for you. If this is actually something you want to do. If you don't want to do it, then you can just tell me in the DMs. That's totally fine. There's no judgment. I use all these frames with amiable. There's no judgment here. There's no right or wrong answer. Nobody's judging you. Just so that they feel safe, because they need to feel safe.
Mm.
This week,
There's like,
this week I closed the call, Paolo, since I used that framework from you. This guy won't show up on the follow-up call, and he say, "No, I don't feel that I want to do the follow-up call." I say, "Oh no, it's just to talk about the question that you have in mind." And then he show up, and I closed in piff.
there you go. Shout out for Jesse. Good job, man. Yeah, you see,
Thanks.
is the pressure having to come up to the follow-up call with a decision made that you just remove that pressure, they'll show up. Nice. Was that helpful?
Yeah,
Let me know.
it really was. And I think one of the key takeaways for me is that I will text them like, "Hey, there's no judgment from my side." And the only thing I sometimes find difficult with what you tell me is that um, getting them on a call, sometimes it's also a little bit of a waste of time because they'll do about the same thing. So sometimes I'm trying to balance. Okay, I do have a lot of prospects that I know that have a bit better chance to be closed, and then getting those guys on a call.
Yeah, of course. Like, I mean, you tell them, hey, there's no need to make a decision. Like, it's not, a decisive call. Let's just have a conversation, right? They hop on a call and do this. You just sort of like recap, isolate. Okay, so based on everything we've covered, like honestly, like I won't get offended. There's no judgment here. You're not wasting my time. All of these. Do you genuinely feel that what we went over on our last call, the entire process, the coaching, the level of coaching you're getting, and of course, like e-commerce as well as a vehicle, do you generally feel that this is going to put you in the best possible position to be the father you want for your daughter, or how do you feel, like, genuinely? Right? It's just like isolating. It's like, do you genuinely feel, like, money aside, do you genuinely feel that this is the thing? Yes, I do. Well, why do you feel that though? Oh, because this, and this, and this. Okay. So then what I'm hearing is that you're 100% in with the process and everything. You've already decided a change needs to be made. It's just is a lot of money. It's just whatever they're objecting to. It's just this thing getting in the way. Exactly. Okay, no worries. Do you want this thing to get in the way? That's the first question. Like, do you want this fear, whatever that might be, like the money, whatever, right? Do you want this fear of the unknown to get in the way? No, yeah, but hold on. You're just going 3 steps ahead. Like, do you want this fear of the unknown to get in the way? Yes or no? No judgment. No, I don't. Why not? Okay. Do you want a little bit of coaching from my side? Yes, please do. Okay, cool. And then you start reframing the guy, and then you after the reframe, you're going for the close. You're going for the close. It's not that it's going to be a chat. No. I'm just objection handling the person. So what do you feel you need to do today? Not tomorrow, today, right at this moment, so that we can break those patterns. Yeah, the right move is to do it. Yes, you know what the right move is. But in order for someone to actually do the right move, and in order for you to get to your goal, someone needs to take that responsibility. Right? So do you want to take that responsibility? Yes, I do. Because you don't have to. You have been avoiding taking this responsibility for the last 6 months. No, yes, I do. So what do you feel we should do now? Right here, right now. I'm closing the guy.
Yeah.
Yes, but I don't have all the money. Forget about the money. If money is the only thing, I've never had a problem to actually be able to help someone. Do you want to move forward today? You want to make things happen today, so tomorrow you can be close to your goals? Yes or no? And you just, like, you help them take action, because that's what's holding them back.
Yeah.
And of course, like, if you have better leads, like, I don't know, you have a driver or an expressive, well, of course, like, prioritize those people. But yeah, it's all about, and that's why the best closers, they understand the different communication styles, and they know how to adapt to each one, right? And that takes time. It's not going to happen overnight. We're naturally more good or smooth towards certain communication styles, and some others we're a little bit weaker, but it's just training. Serenity, you're up.
Hey, I'm loving this.
Hey.
Is it important for us to know which style we tend to be so that we understand what the biases are?
Yes, it's very important, because if you are an analytical one, for example, if you are someone that is analytical, you're gonna tend to buy into the reasons, because you're gonna make sense of them.
Mhm.
So if you're not an analytical one and you think that thinking about it is the thing, then when someone gives you very strong reasons into why they have to think about it, it will be very easy for you to agree with them.
Mhm. Okay, I think I'm a combo of the analytical and driver. And so, like, especially with another driver, could there, how do you prevent the butting in the
Yeah,
head?
yeah.
You know?
It's yeah, the drivers are the most confrontational because
Mhm.
they're just not afraid to tell you what's up, So it's all about catching yourself, catching your ego. Because with drivers, the ego comes up. It's all about catching your ego and saying, no, 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 you're not in this room, and just opening the door for compassion and love. It's just that. Because when someone is just eager or someone is in conflict, they have the conflict, not us.
Mhm.
It's just tell me the price. I've been in dozens of these calls. I just want to know the price. Like, and I get you 100%. But I don't want to be just another call that you had, And I'm pretty sure you sound like jaded. Like, what's the worst thing? What's the worst thing about the other calls you've had? Let's just talk about it. Yeah, they just do this and this and this. They just try to close me. Da, 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 da. If I promise that this call's not going to be the same, will you give me a chance?
Mhm.
Yeah, okay, sounds good. Cool. Let's do it. Right. It's also training as well. It's just you knowing how to go about that, and it's not easy. Just by all means, like drivers are the ones that are for me. Just is the biggest challenge. I am more like I am an introvert, but in my topics, I also tend to waffle. So I am a mix of, I don't know, like expressive and analytical myself. But in the past, I was very amiable in the past. So for me, is I mean, I don't want to say it's easy for me to see the amiables, but I sometimes I smell them. It's like, this person is just telling me what I want to hear, but it's not really meaning it. And sometimes I've caught them. it's like it's just like I just no, this person is gonna say yes, 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 and is gonna find a weird way to just back out. And then I'll start deploying all these things. Like, hey, there's no judgment here. Hey, you can say no. That's okay. No worries. Like, you can change your mind because the method that I teach in the program, the process that I teach, it's very, very powerful, guys. So much so that it's literally like a cooker. Like, you cook them in the discovery, it's very hard for them to act out of congruency because they have just been selling themselves for 20 minutes on why this is a problem, why they want this, what is it that they're going to achieve, what happens if they don't change this, why this is important now, why they're committed. They just, like, put themselves in a box, and now acting the other ways is impossible for the brain. So that's why with amiables, I just tell them, hey, it doesn't have to. Like, you can change your mind. So it's to give them this safe place. It's like, it's okay. And when you just give them this you facilitate this room where they feel safe, they tell you the truth, they open up. That's the most important thing. As long as they're open, we're still in conversation. If they just shut down from it's game over.
Can I ask about analyticals? So you went through a lot of depth with the amiables. Like, I find analyticals tricky because I know that when we can get to the emotion of it, that's when it's easier for me to close. But what do you suggest? Like, because they
Yeah.
could want to collect data forever
Yeah.
and then never make a decision.
Yeah. So for analyticals, they tend to be longer calls for sure. The challenge with them is to keep them outside, is to keep them out, is to keep them from getting into the weeds. Like, especially with an analytical, I'm not going to go into very much details in my process, in my presentation, because if I do, that will trigger new questions in their mind, and that's not going to become a problem. Because an analytical, when they have a question in their mind, is like, I need the answer to these questions, and nothing else matters until I don't have the answer to this question. I'm not even going to sleep. It's just like, right. So is just trying to create the least amount of questions possible. And then whenever they want to get in the weeds, we really have to be careful on whether we should answer that question or we should probe behind that question. What kind of hosting platform are you using to host all these videos? That's a very specific question. Where's that coming from? Right? It's just like asking, probing behind. Oh well, it's just like, yeah, I'm curious. I just want to make sure if all the videos load properly. Okay, and why is that? Is that such a specific concern to you? Oh, because I'm a fast learner. I like to go 2x speed, and I want to be able to, to just go fly through. Oh, I see. So what you're asking is that if you can go at your pace, and if you just want to go through the entire program in 2 days, whether you can do it or not. Exactly. Oh yeah, you can. Done. You see, I give them clarity without answering the question if it was Wistia, school, Vimeo, by probing behind and finding the real question.
Okay, and then what do you say to the person who says, I've got to pray about it 3 times on a new moon, or like, just some, or I always meditate, or I make big decisions like this?
Yeah. It's honestly, in my experience, is not that black and white. It is true that the majority of the times is a smoke screen, but I've closed people. I've closed people that have said, okay, I'm 100% in. I just need to pray. Get God bless, and I'm in. And I said, oh, let's pray together. And we prayed together, and then I closed the guy. But some people have also told me, no, I just want to do this on my own, and and it's contextual. Like I make a read of the situation, and then I go for my intuition, my sixth sense, right? I go, hey, do we trust this person or not? And sometimes like, yes, like this is solid. And then we book a follow-up call the next day, or the same day, and they close. And that is something that you will find through training your intuition. Sometimes it's an intuition call. Because if you just go, no, everybody that says this is a smoke screen, so I'm going to force them to make a decision now, you're going to burn a lot of leads. And if you do the other thing, it's like everybody that says this is true, you're going to lose a lot of opportunity. So it's a dance. It's a healthy balance.
It is a dance, like, because there's that tension, right? And it's like they're so close. We get them up to that point, and then they have this chance to take another path, right, with the decision. And then not always. I have had people come back the next day after they prayed on it or whatever. But it's like that moment. It's like a lot of times people will.
There is a logistical hack that you can use. Some people like it, some people don't. I don't do it, but I've done it in the past, which is just a down payment. That's it. A refundable down payment.
A refundable down payment?
Okay. So let me just make sure, to make sure that I'm getting you 100% clearly. You're 100% in. You want to do this. This is exactly what you're looking for, and the investment makes sense. Yes, it's just that the moon needs to be aligned at this time. That's it. Okay, cool. Or it's just that you want to pray 3 times. Yes. Okay. No problem at all. Like, do your thing. Now, that being said, I just want to ask you two questions. Number 1, do you trust me that I have your best interest in mind? My goal in this goal is to hold you to the highest standards possible so that you can get to your goals. Do you trust that those are my intentions? Yes, I do. Are you sure? Yes. Okay, cool. Then we're going to do a down payment. That's the best thing for you, because that allows you to put one step in, is refundable, no worries at all. And if for whatever reason, God says something else, your wife, your daughter, like whoever, whatever, you wake up vomiting, throwing up because you make the worst decision by putting a down payment, we'll just refund you. But based on everything you've told me, based on this problem you have, this potential that I see, and the fact that there is perfect alignment, the best thing for you right now is to put something down and create a commitment.
What I also really like, Paulo, is also online by I think it was Andy Elliott, and there was like a similar situation. Someone said she needed to pray and she needed to think about it, and then he went like, I can completely understand you, but in big decisions like this, even though normally you might do it like this, you don't make decisions by the amount of you pray on it. You don't make decisions by the amount of time you think about it. You make decisions by the amount of information you have on it. Right now, I'm your best source of information. So let's really get to the problem, see what's holding you back, and then let's resolve it together.
Yeah, and a lot of the times that helps you get through the truth, 100%. Now that being said, I've been in situations with people where they are like literally, no, like the moon needs to be in this position. Like literally,
Yeah.
the moon needs to be at 7 p.m. The moon will be in this position, and that is the moment where I will pay in full, because blah 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 whatever, And you see their eyes, and they're like,
Great. Yeah.
the moon needs to be there. And guess what? I've said, I hear you, 100%. So let's have a call at 7:01. Let's do it. And I closed them. So it's not that black and white. It's not that black and white, and it's all about training that sixth sense that we've talked about, like your intuition. So people call it, calibration. And the only way to train it and to make it trustworthy for you, where you can trust it, is by using it. So, you just lean into your body and you go, okay, the body's telling me yes, let them go, and have a follow-up. And then the person doesn't show up. Okay, now you journal about it, you analyze the situation, and you train the intuition. Next time is going to be no. And then, or sometimes for a specific, you have to make a full read of the situation. And sometimes like, yes, for me, I have to let this person go, book a follow-up call tomorrow or 3 hours from now. And then the person shows up and pays. Who has had that situation? I've done that multiple times. I trust my intuition. I trust the person. Book a follow-up. They show up. They pay. So it's not that black and white. I don't like the trainers, the coaches that says is black, is white in these circumstances, because I have evidence that is not like that. So I believe there's that intuition that we need to train.
So would you suggest? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go on. Yeah. So of course, like we need to have a good understanding of the sales process, right? So for example, making sure that they are in the buying pocket at the end of discovery, making sure that before getting into the offer, they are at a place before they've watched anything of your solution. They've tell you, because you've asked the right questions, they've shared with you that they're ready to make a change. There is a problem. They want to solve it. They want to solve it now, and they're committed. They've already made the decision that something needs to change. They just haven't found the right help yet. They've admitted that in front of you. So that's number one. Then number two, we got a strong certainty in the time check. So we've shown them the process before sharing the price. We've strongly time check. Hey, based on everything we've covered in terms of the process itself, not you or your own, sort of like confidence, just the process, what you've seen. Do you feel that this process can take you from where you are to where you want to be? Yes, I do. What makes you so confident? The coaching. Why the coaching? Okay, so there's alignment within the process. Like you do genuinely believe that this process, this level of support, is going to put you in the best position to be successful. Yes, I do. Great. Certainty there, right? And now we go into the investment and we see what's going on. And you make a read, right? It's like, cool. Is this person in a point of no return? Is this person in a place where they've decided they want to make a change? Yes, they are. I did my job. They are there. Cool. Is there alignment with the process? Is this something that it truly fits into what they're looking for? Yes. Do they have the money? Yes. Okay, so what is it? Is fear. Okay, this person has to make a decision here. It's just fear. I have my read here. It's just fear. So let's go for a down payment, right? A different example is someone tells you, hey, I've invested in 3 coaches this year and I've been burned. I've been burned in the past because I made impulsive decisions every single time. So I made a promise to myself this year that I would never make a decision on the call. And you look through everything is real, everything sounds and feels real, and you feel that this person is real with you, you go, totally hear you. actually, I don't believe that the best thing you can do now is to make an impulsive decision. In fact, I don't want you to make a decision right now. Let's do this. Think about it. Go through everything. In fact, I have some homework for you that I really want you to sort of like ponder and reflect about, and we'll hop on tomorrow. We'll see where you're at. You see, so it depends, but that's what I'm here to help you also train your intuition and sort of like, because like if you follow your intuition and then you don't do the homework, you don't do the work of reflecting back what happened, what did I trust my intuition, where was I wrong, so the next time it is better, my intuition is better guiding me. But there's a big part that is technical. There's a big part that's like, hey, you need to know what you're doing in the process so things don't get mixed up. Is that helpful, Serenity?
Yeah, totally. So then for the driver types, if they're, I guess for them, it's really about controlling their attention or directing their attention. Is that right?
Yeah. But with the drivers, it's just at the beginning, right? Once you get in the rhythm and you're actually doing a good job with them, and you're not making them feel that you're wasting their time, and you're actually moving the conversation forward, they just get lost in the conversation. They forget they were drivers, and now they're just allowing themselves to be led by you.
Okay.
But we're here, and as you continue to have these calls, just reach out to me or just come to these calls. We can go through any challenge or anything that's coming up. No worries at all. That's what we're here for. Cool. Awesome. So we have a one from Sufyan at the beginning. And then another one from Vinant, and then we have Tariku. So Sufyan, my man, are you here?
Sufyan is in a phone call, I see.
Oh yeah. I was looking for him in the cameras. Where's Sufyan? Okay, so let's go with Vinant.
Yeah, a few days ago with the team, we were talking about like energy levels during the call and like the level of enthusiasm you show on the call. And I kept thinking about it, and I really need to ask you, because we were also enthusiastic about aiming his energy on his calls. Like he has like a great energy on the calls. And like, are there like different strategies for like your energy levels on the call, when to be enthusiastic, when to be like that serious or anything? Do you have
There's
some
a book on that, actually? Yeah, there's a book on that. It's not energy on calls, it's energy in high performance. That's called what was the name? The blah 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 of full engagement. The art of full engagement, or the power of full engagement. The power of full engagement. The power of full engagement.
From Jim Loren.
I haven't read that. Yeah. Who has read that book? I haven't, but I've heard that it's really good on that. It's really good on managing energy, and sort of like understanding where energy comes from, and what to do if you lack that energy and whatnot. So definitely on my list, but I haven't read that. There's different, giving you my 2 cents. If someone wants to give their 2 cents, please do as well. But my 2 cents, Vinant, I've shared this before. It's like, for me, people has asked me as well. People have asked me, hey, where do you get that amount of energy? Like, what the heck? And when I think about it, is of course like basic things like nutrition, water, sleep, blah blah blah. That's there. But even when I had like a lot of meetings back to back, and I even have a little bit of headache, I'm still able to push. I'm still able to show up because of my vision. It's just like my vision is so big, and I'm so driven by what I'm building, what I'm going, that it just gives me the energy. So I recognize that when I compare myself with other people, it's like I have a freaking gigantic vision, like a big sun, and they don't have it. Like they don't have the drive that I have. So a lot of times it's just like, hey, you just need a better sun. Your sun is too small. You need to think bigger. You need to aim for more. You just need to create, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
For
what I
some
actually
people, that
meant
has
with
worked.
the can I interrupt you quick, problem? Like what I meant with the
Yeah, sure,
question
sure.
was not like the energy level in general, because yeah, I guess that we're all working on that and that it's going very well, but more like during your call, like how like the level of enthusiastic that you are during the call. So are you constantly like hyping somebody up, or are you more like
Oh,
serious? And is there like a difference like
got you.
in which phase you are in the call where you need to be like in higher energy or need to be in a lower energy? Like
Yeah, yeah. I genuinely believe that's unique to everybody, right? There are people that they are just naturally neutral, and then there are people that they are naturally super positive and they're constantly smiling, and there's like, yeah, what are your goals? I would love to know, and they genuinely mean that, right? And some people is like, cool. So what are we shooting? What are we shooting for here? $10,000 per month. Why is that? And they are like normal, right? The most important thing is that you don't cast an energy that creates friction. As long as you're not creating friction, the rest is your essence, is who you are, right? I do tend to be a little bit more neutral in the first 2 minutes, because you don't know, you have no idea what you can encounter. You can encounter someone that is pissed off. I tend to be neutral, and then I just sort of like transition into being me. But at the beginning, neutral, because I've been in situations where it's like, I'm naturally like happy, I'm naturally like good vibe. Hey, how's it going? And sometimes I've gone, hey, it's done. Cool, man. Awesome, man. Paulo here. Nice to meet you, dude. Nice to meet you. Excited for this call, or looking forward for this call. And then they just take it the wrong way. They say, yeah. Just so you know, I'm not gonna make a decision on this call. And it's like, okay, so what happened here? Maybe I will never know, right? But maybe I was just genuinely happy, because they've been exposed to that energy so many times. They label it as salesy, and I don't know that. I don't know, how their brain works. But at the beginning, I'm more neutral. Well, cool. Hey, is this Vinan? Cool, awesome, Vinan. I always go since I'm from Spain. I always go, how do I pronounce your name? Sorry. Okay, cool. And that always works. It sparks a little bit of a smile or something. And then I just go straight to the point. Sometimes I go, cool. What time it is over there? Got it. Cool. So we're booked for 45 minutes. Are we still good for that? Awesome. So it's not, and then boom, it sounds like you booked a meeting to talk about getting your business to the next level. Awesome. Or to talk about getting your lead generation in place. Okay, cool. And now I'm in my flow. It's very short. Mine is very short. I know. I'm not a big fan of 5 minutes of chit chatting. At least that's sort of like my style. And then throughout the discovery, cool. So I do my frame. I do very neutral, and I ask my first North Star question, and then from there I start transitioning more into more my essence. If that makes sense. I don't know if someone wants to share. I don't know if that was helpful, Vinant.
yeah, it was helpful. I'm trying to play with that like today in a few calls, like to be in like a more serious energy when you're talking about pain and everything, and then when you go to the goals, that you're more like hype them up to think big and to really believe in their goals and everything. And I was playing around with it a little, so I just wanted to ask you about it.
Yeah, no, I mean, the most important thing is that you are you, your essence, because I don't know. I know closers. They are not enthusiastic. Like, they are not smiley. They are not like the eyes just, they are very serious, And I'm not saying that they are like jerks, but even like, for example, one of the persons that I've worked with him in the past. He's very well known in the industry. His name is Sean Ray. Maybe some of you know who he is. I work with Sean Ray, and Sean Ray, he's not smiling at you. He's like, cool, what's up, buddy? How's it going? All right, you booked the meeting to da 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 da. Okay, cool, awesome. So let's boom, question, answer. Okay, boom. And he's like a challenger kind of thing, so to say. Flashes it. You know what I mean? So I haven't seen any difference in that. You know, as long as you're not creating friction, like if you're like literally you have a face like, what's up? Yeah, you book a meeting to da da da, and it's like you look like a psychopath. Like, then that's not gonna help. But yours, like what I've seen from you, Vinan, the way you communicate, you're good, man. You're good.
Thanks, brother.
You got it.
I also saw this maybe to answer like a little bit of the question, like where do you need to be more enthusiastic? I think I also said it the 2 days ago, but I saw this video of Alex Hormozy, and he was explaining what sales was, and he said sales is two things. One, making feel people understand, because people buy when they feel understand, and the second one is the transfer of enthusiasm. I think the first one is really important in the discovery, like making people really feel understand, and then the second one, the transfer of enthusiasm, I think that's in the pitch. You know, so if people first really feel understand in the discovery, and then you like overload them with all this enthusiasm that you have about the product that you're selling, not too much, of course. I think that's a really good mix to answer the question in where should you be more high level than in other places.
Yeah. Yeah, I do agree that when you're naturally when you naturally gravitate towards that kind of energy, like for example, Eamon, that he's just like he's like that, you know, he's super you're happy, enthusiastic. It you take advantage of that effect, so to say, because what they receive on the other end feels genuine. Like they genuinely see how you're honest about the energy you're casting. The thing is, when someone that is not naturally like that, and they're just forcing themselves to be like that, it can come up as dishonest. It can come up as fakey. So, yeah. But I agree with you, Eamon. Thank you for sharing, 100%.
Hi, I had a quick question about that, if I can ask it.
Yeah, sure, go ahead. I was like,
Yeah,
who's
so
talking? Is it Anas? Okay.
yeah, it's me. I'm in the car, so you can't see me. But
You got it. You're good, man. You're good.
yeah, so this was something we discussed in our team call about the energy, and it was because we were reviewing a call of mine, and I was kind of laid back, and I don't like to be overly excited. So if I understood you correctly, as long as you're just being true to yourself, it doesn't really matter if you're very excited or a little laid back. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yes. In general, yes.
Okay.
Just take it as yes. Now, I've also been, just to add context to this, I've also been in programs. I remember when I was in NPQ Inner Circle, there was a guy that his natural way of talking, it was his natural way of talking, like nothing bad about him, amazing person. But his natural way of talking was very hot, dry, and aggressive, just naturally. Like he wasn't even on role play. He was just talking on the coaching calls, and he was like, "Oh yeah, but blah 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 blah. No, blah 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 blah." And then I remember one of the coaches saying, "Dude, are you okay?" It's like, "No, yeah, I'm okay." It's like, oh, "Okay, so you naturally talk like that?" Yeah. That's how I talk. That no problem. And it's like, okay, that's a problem. It's like we're going to have to take you or you that we're gonna have to dim it down, bro, because you're gonna trigger a lot of people. I remember that there was this one extreme case. He was just naturally like that, like his tone of voice was very like harsh, and he would always end everything downward inflecting. It was like I remember saying or thinking, oh wow, like this guy is really like that. Oh damn, But of course, that's one in 1,000 type of personalities. In general, yes, Anas, no worries. If I see something like that, on these calls, I will let you know. It's like, hey, Tariku, you have this tendency of just look yourself when you do this or you do that. I'm saying Tariku for, randomly, but no worries, I'll let you know.
Okay, thank you.
You got it. Next one is Tariku, actually. You're up, brother.
Yes, thank you. I was wondering whether if there's somewhere we could access that presentation that you just showed us about different personalities within leads.
Yeah, you have the recording sheet. All of you have the recording sheet. Let me just share that with you.
Yeah, I have it. So it's in there as well.
Yeah. You have it? Yeah, it's there.
Yeah.
All the recordings automatically go there.
Okay, sure, but it's not like you've got like a PDF or something like that, like a flowchart you've got in the school sessions as well.
For the 4 personality, for the 4 communication styles?
You
Yeah.
could look in the
No,
group
no.
chat.
Okay, you made a screenshot about it.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Because I have such trouble going about the amiable
Yeah,
type
amiable.
of person. And yeah, how would you for example, I had a call like that last week, exactly like that, what you said. He was just hesitating, but he spoke about taking action so often. We actually reviewed this particular call this morning. So yeah, what will be tips, or how could I be able to go about that in a better way? What would you say to help me move forward with them?
Yeah, so the most important thing, it doesn't matter if they're amiable, expressive, driver, analytical. The most important thing is that we can keep them in a place where they are not defensive. Okay? Because the moment someone just shuts down emotionally from the conversation, like they're not there. Their body is there, but they're not there. They're gone. Right? So it doesn't matter what they say. It doesn't matter how the conversation goes. It doesn't matter how difficult it is. You always have to keep your ground, you're cool. You cannot get affected by anything that happens in the call. Because if you get affected, you cast that energy. Okay? And this is very important to keep them open, like open-minded, willing to talk to you. If they're open to talk to you, if they're open and willing to continue to be in the conversation, we can move the conversation forward. So with amiables, they have naturally a built-in software that is constantly, I am going to be judged. He's going to think this. If I say this is the opposite that I said, so he's going to think I'm lying. All of these insecurities, right? Let me share this again. Here. So we need to, and it's built in their software, right? Because they value relationships and they like to feel safe. So they don't like social confrontation. So what we need to tell them, not constantly, but once we get to the point of making a decision, we have to just give this context of, hey, based on whatever that we might be asking. It's like, hey, there's no right or wrong answer here. Hey, so it's okay if you change your mind. Don't get me wrong. Like, I won't get offended. People change their mind all the time. This is a safe place. Nobody's judging you here. You don't have to do this. Right? If someone says yes, 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 and they go, yeah, but I want to think about it, or yeah, da, da, da. You just use the process, you isolate the objection, right? Okay, cool, no worries. That's totally fine. Fine. In fact, if you don't believe this is the best thing for you, for your future, for your family, I don't want you to do it. Now, just so I can stay organized on my end, money aside, do you genuinely feel that this can get you from where you are right now to becoming an entrepreneur? And you can be honest with me. There's no right or wrong answer here. Okay, this is a safe place. You can say no. It's fine. No worries. You see all the amount of context that I'm giving, so they feel safe, and they say yes, I do. Are you sure? Like, doesn't have to be that way. You can say no. I've sent that sentence, Tariku, like thousands of times with amiables. You can say no. I'm giving them permission to say no. I'm telling them, hey, saying no does not represent a conflict, because they hate conflict. So I'm saying, hey, if you say no, there's no conflict. It's okay.
Yeah.
That
would have worked so well. It's incredible how powerful it is. Yeah.
Yes. It's just like, and then they open up more and they give you the truth more. So yeah, no, I mean, I always have trouble taking action, and that's okay. You see, that's okay. That's fine. No confrontation, Do you genuinely feel that that's what's best for you? And you can say yes if you want. No judgment here. No, I genuinely don't. But do you feel it's going to require a little bit of discomfort for you to get from where you are to where you want to be? Yes. Yes, and that's the reality, It is uncomfortable. It is this, it is that. Right? But
Yeah.
you also have the option to continue to keep the perspective and to continue to behave the way that you've been doing. You've been doing that for the last 6 months, right? You've been 6 months without taking any action. That's okay. Do you believe genuinely that this is the best thing for you? There's no right or wrong answer here. Again, no, I don't believe that's the best thing for me. Okay, let's break it down. Why? You see, it's like a little child, like a little kid, just like, hey, no worries, it's okay. Let's just talk. And as long as you keep them in that place, you get, you move them closer. And then you just, so what do you feel we have to do, even though it's uncomfortable? What do you feel we need to do today so that we can actually get closer to our goals? Genuinely. So it's just reading the amiable, which is hard as fuck. I'm not saying it's easy, okay? Here in theory, it looks good, but these ones are the hardest ones because they will tell you everything you want to hear. And if you're biased to hear what you want to hear, then it's chaos. That's why, it's always very important to listen not only to the words, but also to the energy. That's how I catch the amiables. I listen to the energy because they tell me what I want to hear in words. But then when I listen to the energy, it's like, something's not right here. She's telling me what I want to hear. He's telling me, and that's your intuition talking to you, right? So when you just listen to your intuition and train your intuition.
Yeah, perfect. Really valuable. And my intuition was telling me exactly what he was saying with his body language. So I definitely think I've kind of developed that intuition a little bit because after all, I was right about him in that particular case. But definitely the way I went about it was terrible. Or let me put it differently, like it could have been a lot better, like you did. And I think there's a lot of room to improve. So thanks a lot for this good example.
No worries. That's mistakes are necessary for success. The only problem is when we don't learn from it. And you're here, you show up every week, Tariku. That tells me that you want to get better. You want to see these things and take it to the next level. Just the next time it happens, do it. So you're good. It's part of the process.
Exactly.
You're growing.